I know it's a cliche question, but I ask it because it can show the weight that you've had to deal with over the years. But is there one particular case that continues to stand out to you that just pops up at random moments?
I'm asked this question a lot, and I have to say that there's been so many over the years. And again, I'm looking at the worst case scenarios, which again are most likely the violent crimes that involve death over the years, and have been, personally involved and professionally involved in many of those serious cases over the years. And I think and I'm cautious to, get too detailed, although I'm sure people could figure out what we're talking about. But because of victims and because of families and people still here. But one that always stands out was a tragic homicide of a very young girl who was sexually assaulted and murdered by a friend of the victim's family. And that particular investigation that was very detailed, it was a lot of information to follow up and to be analyzed, sticks the most to me of all of them. Again, looking at the vulnerability, of a young child in this case, and not only how that, how you see that and how you react, in just total shock and sorrow for the victim's family, but how learning from it, realizing that, again, as an organization, as a criminal justice system, there are things we can do to keep young children safer, things we can do to provide them with more of an opportunity to grow up into healthy, successful adults.
A reminder, in essence.
And a reminder, yes.
Yeah. What are the plans going forward? What do you hope to do? Anything that...
I'm going to stay involved in some of the activities that I'm currently involved in. I'm still chair of the Partnership for Ontario County. I'd like to stay involved with the partnership because of the great work the partnership is doing, umbrellaing its departments such as the Child Advocacy Center, the Youth Court, which is seeing big changes now with Raise the Age, the Family Support Centers, our drug addiction heroin program that we're reaching out to all parts of the community to try and rein in the opioid crisis. I'll stay involved with that. We've formed a senior citizens advisory group, our SALT Council, seniors and lawmen together. I'd like to stay involved with them as a volunteer and to continue to work with seniors on issues that are important to them, for them to maintain their public safety and public health. I chair the Regional Finger Lakes Law Enforcement Training Academy for these 5 counties. As a volunteer, I've made it clear that I'll be willing to help with our folks in setting up schools that are coming on, specialized trainings for in-service officers. We do an annual training for police chiefs and sheriffs, which is very popular, and we draw in a lot of outside presenters to do that. So I've got those interests that are related to the job that I hope to keep involved in. Personally, we have family in Georgia. Eager to spend more time with my son, daughter-in-law, and 2 wonderful grandchildren that are there. We have wonderful family here with a daughter and a 2-year-old grandson, and certainly spend much time with them. We have our 2019 is pretty well planned out as far as what we will do, where we will go, and where we will be. So the roadmap is set. Put some new tires on the car, and we'll start traveling with the first destination to be down south.
I love that. I'll end with this question because you had mentioned the heroin addiction. When you talk about the opioid crisis, how do you even start to go about combating something that is so biologically driven?
The opioid crisis is the most extraordinary challenge that I think any of us in the criminal justice field are experiencing today or may have ever experienced. Those of us in law enforcement, are not alone in going to be able to solve this problem. This is truly a collaborative effort that is going to involve law enforcement, practitioners, medical, insurance, social services, the courts, a total bringing together of persons who have a stake in solving this particular problem. I'm very concerned because through the daunting and very effective efforts we're doing now, we're still seeing an increase in the use of fentanyl, and that is what's most troubling. Many times people have said the heroin epidemic will end and fentanyl will take its place, and that's not good. Fentanyl is so much more deadly, addictive, and lethal than the heroin that we need to work, very hard on looking at, all the issues that are involved in having the product available and then the addictions. We need much, much more help for those individuals who have succumbed to the addiction and are really eager and sincere about going clean and getting out from underneath this addiction. So I'm optimistic, and I've always been an optimist when it comes to this area, that collectively and working together without prejudice or bias, when we all share our talents, our intelligence, and our efforts, we can solve problems. And I believe that this is a problem that can be solved, but it's going to amount to much more work than we have accomplished to this point. But we continue to see more people eager to jump in and deal with this issue because it's becoming more and more evident that the severity of the opioid crisis, is continuing, and it's going to take a lot more serious, hard work, to solve this crisis.
Anything else you'd like to add, Sheriff, that I might have missed?
It's been my honor and a humbling experience to have served the people of Ontario County for 47 years. I give the utmost credit to my family for their support, and especially my wife, who has endured so much over the years so that I could take part in this passion, which is my vocation. And next, I can't thank enough the 300 employees of the Ontario County Office of Sheriff who have stuck by me, who have lived up to the mission, who have accepted the responsibility of going out and helping people who many times are total strangers, and understanding that they may be the only resource for that person in a life or death situation. And I can't thank them enough for their courage and dedication.